I've been covering this Gene Hackman case pretty extensively on my channel, and even when everyone else decided that the story was over, I've still been over here trying my best to stay on top of all of the new details that are coming out, and of course doing some digging of my own, because there's something about this story that just does not sit right with me. It does not feel right to me. And if you've been watching my videos, you already know I don't necessarily suspect that foul play is involved. Like, I don't necessarily think that someone killed or whacked Gene Hackman. The details we've been given, the answers that we've been given, they don't sound right to me. They don't seem right. They don't feel right. And maybe I'm wrong, but it is what it is. When I look at my comment sections, when I look at other people talking about this case in other corners of the internet, 99% of people say that they're not satisfied with the answers that they've been given, that they do not accept the causes of death that we've been given. Now, like I just said, I'm willing to accept what we've been told. I'm willing to accept the answers that we've been given. But also at the same time, I'm not going to ignore the obvious stupid mistakes that have happened in this investigation. And because of these mistakes, it really makes me question certain things, even the causes of death. Look, the hantavirus, it's deadly, it's dangerous, but people don't just spontaneously drop dead from the hantavirus. Do your research. That doesn't happen. We've heard from over a half a dozen medical experts that all say they've never seen anything like that, okay? The hantavirus, it creeps up on you. It gradually gets worse. It makes it hard to breathe. Usually people die in the hospital. People aren't running errands, living their everyday life, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, it's the hanta! And then they just drop. That's not how it works. So the explanation we've been given about Betsy, it seems kind of weird to me. Maybe it's the truth, but it seems weird. And then when it comes to Gene Hackman, the advanced Alzheimer's, literally everyone who was in his life talking to him recently, none of them said anything about Alzheimer's. His kids have no idea that he had advanced Alzheimer's. And even people in the neighborhood where they live said that Gene Hackman was driving around in his own car, waving and talking to people just a couple of weeks before he died. So a lot of things just aren't sitting right with me. But now I am glad to know that it's not just me. It's not just the audience at home. Gene Hackman's kids, they are growing frustrated with the investigation. They are not buying some of what they've been told. For one, like I said, the kids didn't know that he had advanced Alzheimer's. Now, they were not a big part of his life. We all know that. I've made several videos about that. But still, they're concerned. They're not happy with the investigation, and now they have hired their own private investigator. Because just in case you guys didn't know, if you didn't watch my last video, it's now been revealed that Gene Hackman and Betsy had a stalker that was following them around town, recently before they died. So now there's a private investigator involved. I'm happy about that. And like I said, I'm happy to see that it's not just me, it's not just you. Gene Hackman's own family, they're questioning things. They know that things aren't adding up. Let's go ahead and dive into this article. Gene Hackman's daughters hire private investigator in desperate bid to get to the bottom of actor's death or cover-up after chilling new theory suggests stalker may have murdered Hollywood icon and wife Betsy. Gene Hackman's daughters have hired a private investigator to uncover what they believe is the true cause of his shocking death. The family has grown frustrated with a lack of concrete answers, especially after a new theory hints that Gene and his wife were targeted for murder. Newly released body cam footage from deputies involved in the investigation shows Betsy's hairstylist Christopher recalling how she seemed frazzled and worried that a mystery man was following her. I want to pause right there. I've already shown you guys this body cam footage. Go check out that video. Also, people are constantly asking how they can support the channel. You could do so for free, very easily, hitting the like button and dropping a comment below. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. But if you want to take it one step further, you can always drop a super thanks or send a cash app. It's greatly appreciated and well needed over here because YouTube is not always happy with me because I talk about a lot of things they don't want me talking about. But let's go ahead and dive back in. Now, Elizabeth and Leslie Hackman have taken matters in their own hands. A source says that they have lost faith in the authorities. This doesn't add up. It feels like someone is trying to cover something up, and Jean's daughters will not rest until the truth is revealed. Now, according to the hairdresser, Christopher, he says that Betsy mentioned to him that there was a man that had parked outside of their gate and had followed them on multiple occasions. Christopher said that Betsy disclosed that the man had a folder full of photos of Hackman. He stated that it didn't sit right with Betsy and that she felt like they were being watched. One time, she even confronted the man and told him that he needed to have respect. But the man later returned on a different day and followed the couple to a separate location. In that incident, he tried to give them a bottle of wine, but they declined. Meanwhile, Jean's family is reportedly frustrated by the lack of updates on Jean's toxicology report and his cell phone records, which remain sealed. They believe crucial answers are being withheld. As one insider says, there's a reason they brought in private eyes. They think this man who followed them may have not been a fan, but something darker, and they won't stop digging until they know exactly who he was and why he was watching them. So, the daughters seem to be really concerned about this stalker dude. Now, personally, I think this may have just been a crazy fan that wanted autographs and that was following him around. But what do I know? For all I know, this guy could have said, hey guys, do you want to try this bottle of wine? No? Well, here's the hantavirus. Slip a little Hanta onto Betsy real quick. Let me sprinkle some rat droppings around you and get you sick. Now, do not run and go crazy with that. I was just joking. I don't think this guy infected them with the Hanta. I'm just saying, hey, anything's possible in this crazy, cruel world. But yeah, we're not the only ones, folks. You were sitting at home, I was sitting at home thinking, hey, maybe we're the only ones that have questions about this investigation. But no. The family is really concerned. And for one, the family had to find out about this stalker guy from the release of the body cam footage. Investigators never came out and said, hey, we have this concerning lead about this guy who was stalking Jean and Betsy. Investigators never told the family that. The family found that out the way we found that out, by clicking on a video and seeing, oh, hell, what in the hell? They had a stalker. How come no one said this? So they're growing frustrated. And I understand why. I mean, for example, we already know now that Betsy was still alive after the date that they told us that she most likely died. So I'm thinking that there's information within the cell phones that could have proved that. So there's a lot going on here. And everyone thinks the story is over. And in many ways, you can make the argument that some of the story is over. But obviously, there are questions that still need to be answered. And maybe we don't need those answers, but the family does. It's one thing when it's just the internet, right? It's one thing when it's just me and you wanting answers for what happened to this or that. It's another thing when the family is involved wanting answers. So people could say, mind your business. It's none of your business. You don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. Well, the family does. The family does. And yeah, Gene and his kids obviously did not have the closest relationship. Gene's kids were not checking on him in the way they should have been. And maybe Gene wasn't there for his kids in the way that he should have been. But at the end of the day, when something tragic like this happens, people still want answers. The last thing you want is to live your life with a little bit of uncertainty, right? Even if you think for sure, okay, yeah, this had to be this, it had to be that. You don't want that uncertainty for the rest of your life. You know, when all's said and done, when you're done running errands for the day, after you get done cooking dinner, after you get done working, when you lay your head down at night, you're going to have that question ringing in the back of your mind. Gene's kids and Gene's daughters, I guess, they don't want that question. They want definitive answers. They want the whole truth, the actual truth. They don't want any beating around the bush. And they don't want to have to deal with the mistakes and stuff that have been made in this investigation. And I can't blame them for that. So hopefully this private investigator finds out more. I don't think that he's going to find out that someone murdered Gene. But maybe he'll find out that the investigators made more mistakes than we already know of. And that wouldn't surprise me. But for now, you guys let me know what you think down below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon at the next one.